since we're on the war on wokeness. Here's Josh Hawley at his Faith and Freedom Coalition conference in Duluth, Georgia. Look at all these conferences.
Nice little check, probably. Pretty empty.
I wonder if he does get it. He must, right? Does he get paid?
I wonder how that works ethically. I mean, I feel like ethics might be out the window now.
Right.
I'm doing politics.
And basically most presidential candidates were at this too, like Christie, DeSantis. So I'm wondering if that's like kosher to pay them if they're campaigning or whatever. But
here's Josh Hawley speaking at the Faith and Freedom Coalition on a religion of woke.
We see these corporations pushing relentlessly this Marxist agenda, pushing relentlessly this religion.
I want you to just contemplate for a moment the idea of these corporations pushing this Marxist agenda, where they are forcing their employees to have ownership of the company.
Yeah, a labor-led revolution. That's what the corporations love.
Yes. I mean, this is like words have no meaning. And let's be clear. Where did Josh Hawley go to college?
One of the Ivies. I can't remember which one.
This is an Ivy League educated person who knows full well the idea of corporations pushing a Marxist ideology is absurd.
You know, actually, sorry to cut in, but his position on unions is that, I don't think I'm mistaken this with Tom Cotton. I think Hawley says, I like the idea of unions, but they're just too corrupt. Meanwhile, apparently his problem with corporate America is that it's corrupt in terms of wokeism, but we still are going to cut their taxes.
Because of that's the way we defeat the Marxism in the corporations.
Right. But by Stanford undergrad, Yale law.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, twofer.
Yeah.
Both coasts.
We see these corporations pushing relentlessly this Marxist agenda, pushing relentlessly this religion of woke. And you know, some Republicans I've heard recently, some Republicans have said, oh, but I don't like culture wars. I don't want to have to engage in a culture war. And they also say, oh, but don't criticize corporate America. We mustn't do that. I just say to those people, listen, we may not have started this culture war, but we're going to win it. We are going to win it.
And to a certain extent, I guess, according to Hawley, you know, the start of the culture war was probably really one of the first shots was probably heard 140 years ago, 120 years ago. No, 140, 160 years ago.
Yeah.
My math is bad. When the Emancipation Proclamation was signed.
The woke proclamation.
The wokeipation proclamation. And then stuff like when women got the right to vote, or when women became not chattel of their husband or their
or not precluded from financial independence.
Yes, or when black people had when other minorities were guaranteed the right to vote, theoretically, or when gay people were allowed to marry, or when parents and children, after a lot of deliberation, could help them feel comfortable with the gender they wanted to adopt. That's the woke war. That's what he's talking about. That's the culture war that we all started by providing liberation and emancipation and a certain amount of freedom and rights for people who don't look just like Josh Hawley. That's the war that he's claiming was started and that they're now engaging in to win. I would like to see what winning that culture war, like, make them define it. What are we going to roll back? Is it really just about like, well, I don't want to see a multicolored flag in Target. That's when we know that we've won the culture woke culture war. I only want to see Christmas decorations or a specific color palette in most retail stores. Like, what is it exactly that they consider winning their culture war? That's really the question that should be asked. All right. Going to turn on the calls. 646-257-3920, 646-257-3920. On the IMs, Dan from Missouri, going to tell my grandkids that I fought in Woke War I. Chris Duh.
That was the Civil War, actually.
Just remember, every accusation is a confession. Sam, tight pants, 38 days until the Teamsters strike begins if UPS doesn't come to a deal. Per Sean O'Brien, all non-economic demands have already been tentatively agreed to. Thursday, UPS rejected the Teamsters' submitted economic demands, and Teamsters immediately rejected the counteroffer. Biden can partially redeem his labor bona fides if he publicly pressures UPS. I think Schumer is holding up the Julie Sue vote until after this conflict. Sue's win last week with the West Coast longshoreman deal should have been enough, but Sinema is the deciding vote, it seems. Who knows with her, but fight, strike, win.